Pablonn, yo RS. Watch your numbers, yo. Are the MP and Gizmo.
He say he from Havana, Havana. He steady smoking his Cubana, Cubana. He acting tough just like a gangster, and asking me if I really wanna fall in. He say he from Havana, Havana. He steady smoking his Cubana, Cubana. He acting tough just like a gangster, and asking me if I really wanna fall in love.
Alright, so firstly, can we get some background information on you? What's your name, your age, and where are you from?
Okay, so my name is Jamila Coore. I'm 21 years old and I'm from St. Andrew.
Alright, what inspired the name Mila Akilah?
Okay, so Mila Akilah, so my first stage name was Jamila Kanta, and I went by Jamila Kanta for a while, and then I decided to make a new Instagram because my old Instagram had a lot of ghost followers. So I was on my phone with my boyfriend asking him, what name do you think I should get? And then I just came up with Mila Akilah, and since then I decided to change my stage name from Jamila Kanta to Mila Akilah.
Alright, so why Mila Akilah?
So Mila Akilah because Mila is from my first name Jamila, and Akilah is my last name, so I decided to join them together.
Alright, so what inspires your music?
Okay, so my music is inspired by things that I went through, or things that I'm seeing, or things that I've seen happen to people, and it's also influenced by the beat that I hear. So if the instrumental is giving me a certain type of vibe or feeling, then I will write based on what it's giving me.
Alright, and the sound that you've garnered, what made you decide that yes, this is how I want to sound?
Okay, so the sound is like R&B, hip-hop, and the reason why I did it is because I grew up listening to that type of music. I grew up listening to a lot of American style music, so it helped me to develop my sound. Even though I listen to various genres, I find myself doing hip-hop and R&B more because I grew up with it. So
Alright, so who are your influencers?
So my influences, for soul and R&B, it would be people like Lauryn Hill, it would be Beyonce, SZA, Jhené Aiko, and I used to listen to TLC, and males like Kendrick Lamar, and J. Cole, and numerous other people.
So you don't listen to like Eryka Badu or SZA?
No, and the thing is, a lot of people compare my sound to that of Jill Scott and Eryka Badu, but I only know one song from Eryka Badu, which is strange. So I'm not, I don't listen to her as much as people would think. SZA, no, I've been listening to her since 2014, so I can somewhat agree with the SZA, but not so much of the Eryka Badu.
Oh, so you have an EP called An EP?
Yes.
What was the whole process of making this EP?
Okay, so the process was when I released one of my songs, I realized that I realized that a lot of people like the song. So I was like, okay, I have a wide array of songs that I can choose from, or that I've recorded in the past but haven't released. So I was saying to myself, okay, how can I get this to people? So I just decided to create an EP, and I wanted to name my first EP Imperfection, but I decided not to. I just decided to give it a literal name, which is an EP, and it was just based on instrumentals that I took off YouTube and wrote songs for or about, and I just compiled all of them and just decided to allow people to hear them.
Alright, so Imperfections, why would that come around?
Okay, so Imperfection, it was, okay, at that point of my life, I was a bit torn between who I was and who I wanted to be. So I wanted to write songs based on what I was going through and how I was, what I was going through and the different types of situations and what I wanted to build on in my life. And I decided to call it imperfection with the capital I-M, because it's like you're saying I'm imperfect, but I'm also perfect at the same time.
So what's your favorite song by you so far?
My favorite song, do I have one? I really don't have one. As a matter of fact, it's weird with me because when I make a song, I don't want to hear it again. I just want I don't want to sit down and play the song and listen to it unless I'm going to perform it somewhere, because I've already heard it so many times, so I'm going to get tired of it. So unless I really have to, I don't really like hearing the song again. And because of how it's mixed, sometimes I'm like, okay, this can be better. So I don't have a favorite song so far.
Alright, so since you talked about mixing, who's your favorite producer so far?
So my favorite, I have two. Is that okay if I say two? I have two favorites. One is Moods, he's from America, and the next one is Syndrome, he's Canadian. So those are my two favorite producers.
And why?
Because they have a more international sound, and that's usually the market that I'm aiming for, because my sound is like, it's R&B and it's kind of like a fusion, because I do want to join dancehall, reggae, R&B, soul and rap together. So they give me that sound that I'm looking for, and their instrumentals allow me or help me best with my writing process.
Oh, so your song This Time I Let You Go, that's my favorite song. Like,
Thank
did
you.
I want to hear what inspired you to write that song, and like why it come out like that, everything. I want to hear everything about that song.
Okay, so it's actually I wouldn't say it's a long process, but what I was doing before I started writing is I was going through Instagram and I was on someone's page, and I saw a video with one of my favorite singers, Ming Lee. He was strumming his guitar and he was just singing, and it was just looping and then looping. And I was like, this is nice. I should try to, convert that video into an audio and make it into a song. So I did that, and I made a long loop of just one particular part of the video. And based on what he was saying, I was able to write the message about the song. The song is basically about someone toxic in a relationship that you're allowing yourself to keep because you feel like you can better them, but that's not the case, and you don't want to let them go because you love them and you truly want them to change. But at the same time, you need to allow yourself to realize that certain people should not be held hostage in your life, and that goes for any relationship, friendships, love life, anything. So yeah,
so just like this song, most of your songs mainly have the whole theme of love and heartbreak and all of them stuff.
Yes.
There. So I'm wondering if it's that just that you're always heartbroken, or your friends them always heartbroken.
it's just a common thing to sing about or talk about, and everyone can relate to it. So I'm not always heartbroken, but I've had experiences that allow me to write about being heartbroken. So that's why most of my songs are about heartbreak.
Alright, so when you're looking to like do a next project, or
Wow, as soon as finals are over, I'm going to hit the studio or any studio I can find. I have a lot of unreleased songs on my phone, so as soon as I'm finished with exams, I will be releasing as much music as possible.
yeah, so as you talk about school, outside of music, how is your life like?
Normal. I mean, I just go to school,
Studying?
study, go home.
Like which course, or
Oh my god, don't tell people I don't study. Okay, so alright, the faculty, I attend University of the West Indies, and I'm studying I tell people I can study. Woo.
Alright.
Okay, so I attend the University of the West Indies, and my faculty is Humanities and Education, and I'm studying Introduction to Film.
Cool. Coming on a minute. Alright, so like music, what age like you say, alright, I want to do music, or what made you say, yeah, I want to do music?
Ever since I was very young, six years old, I believe, I would always be drumming on something or singing. So since I was very young, I knew I wanted to do music, but I wasn't as confident because I was saying music is so saturated and I never thought that I would be able to make it in the industry, so I decided to take up other things like photography and videography. But through the introduction of music again through my friend Emil, because he allowed me to feature on one of his songs, it allowed me to realize that I do have the potential to make music, and that this is something that I should be doing regardless of how I feel about the music, about the market.
Yeah, so most girls like, they were them again, they like say, yo, they started out doing poems and those stuff.
Poems?
Yeah. So you write poems still?
Yeah,
huh?
I do write poems, but I didn't start off with poems. But I do write poems.
So it was music before then?
It was always music before poetry, yes.
Cool. Cool. And well, we're done still. So you can just tell the people, tell where we can find you, like YouTube, SoundCloud, IG.
Okay, so you can find me on Instagram. My name is Mila.Akilah. Same for my YouTube, same for my SoundCloud, same for everything, and yeah.
And if there's anything that I left out that you want to say?
No. I think that's all.